Idris when they had that available for the second game. And so I think, it makes sense that Idris Bandi's he's a really strong hero anyway. And now we're expecting to see the healers be extremely prevalent. So I think the Idris Bandit kind of makes sense. I would have liked to see maybe something a little bit different though.
Yep, Grace, brother Grace, once again being picked up by the side of Elite 8. Didn't quite work out for them for the past 2 games, and yet they are still settling for that healer. Like you said, healers will be very prevalent in this particular update. Since Lara is banned out, I personally would have just went for the Catherine instead of that Grace, Grunter, Baptiste.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing an identical draft to the first game where Infamous won. And so if you're really at this moment, they're obviously going to pick Catherine, because why wouldn't you? It's a fantastic captain. Lara's been banned. And Elite 8 went to the Celeste ban again. And yeah, if they pick Koshka Baron, Elite 8 are just going to lose. They lost the first game with this comp. Why would they expect to win the third game with exactly the same comp? So hopefully they're going to pick something different. Maybe pick Ringo themselves. Ringo can work well against Kestrel. But please don't just pick Baron Koshka.
Yeah, another Catherine being picked up for the side of Infamous, and same exact reaction when I saw that Pato being picked up. I mean, Pato has got the highest win rate amongst all the region in the lower tiers per se, but let's just see if Elite 8 can drive this Pato into the meta spot that, VG Pro kind of agrees on. But let's see if Infamous have got any answers to this Pato. A lot of heroes at this point in time, like that's Scarf. Scarf is open now. Scarf does very well against a Pato because you can burn those minions down. Yeah. And we do see a Scarf being picked up by the side of Infamous.
Yeah, Infamous really drafting expertly there. Obviously, the Petal was there to counter Crystal Kestrel. If Kestrel's ever caught out, the Petal ones would just chase her down. It's not that good against Weapon Kestrel because of the Glimmer Shots, because you can just basically attack the Munions to death, get the Adrenaline stacks, be ready to Glimmer Shot. And so I think making that Kestrel weapon, and then, as you said, Scarf's fantastic against Petal. If you just put a goop on top of yourself and ignite it, the Munions are just going to die while they try and attack you, and then Petal has nothing. Once Petal has no Munions, she's useless. It's going to be all on Glaive to try and dive into this Kestrel, knock her back, and then once they've eliminated the weapon Kestrel, then they can try and focus on Scarf. But it has to be early game pressure by Elite 8. They have to win the early game with the Petal, because if it gets to mid to late game, Scarf and Kestrel are going to absolutely destroy you.
Yep, I've actually played Petal myself in the ranked game. I went 20-something into something, and I just lost out in the late game because Petal is just so useless. I mean, we pushed down all the way down, but we just allowed too much space for the enemies to breathe, and there you have it. But at the end of it all, Petal has got very good early game potential, and of course, paired with that, Glaive can easily gank, or not even gank, just afterburn Kestrel into that of turret, and then having that Petal around slowly munching that Kestrel down. So I guess Elite 8, like you said, have to play to their early game strength and try their best to snowball, especially with that of Glaive and of course that of Grace. But then, Infamous, they've been playing very well so far, and in fact, even however late game comp they have access to, they picked up for themselves, they can push that late game into that of mid. 9 minutes in, and you see them just putting out so much damage, and I'm not surprised for this game they are going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's one of the worst case scenarios for Elite 8 if it gets towards late game, because once the game hits about 18 minutes in, Petal starts to fall off as hard as Koshka does, really. And once it gets 18 minutes in, Scarf becomes almost unkillable. So there'll be a clear turning point where Elite 8, if they're not too far ahead, they'll just start losing all the fights, and Infamous will be able to push to a pretty easy victory if Elite 8 don't pressure. So I think we'll know quite early on if Elite 8 are going to have what it takes to take this Game 3 and push it into a Game 4 or possibly a Game 5. But Infamous are really strong at getting early game leads. They're probably going to be unable to do so with the Kestrel and Scarf, but they don't need to. Once it gets to late game, they'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and Petal does very well against that of Catherine as well. So it's just down to how both of these teams will execute their early game, and of course that of late game for the side of Elite 8. However, I've got some faith in that of Elite 8 in coming in this game, because it might just be the secret weapon in their sleeves.
Yeah, it definitely might be. We're going to be heading on into the Halcyon Fold now. So thank you for that analysis, Luxuria. And now, for possibly the last game of this best of 5, I'm going to be joined by I Request a Duel.
Hello, and yes, here we are in the possible last game between Infamous and Elite 8. Obviously, Infamous with the first 2 matches under that belt only need to win this one to get through and, you know, have a fairly strong team comp on their side. But when we look over at the side of Elite 8, you know, you can't count them out yet. The pedal pick, obviously, we haven't seen so much recently, but it might just work out for them, especially they have the engage there, the front line with the Grace and the Glaive. They have a good amount of CC as well to match with that. And we'll just have to see how this pedal plays out for the side of Elite 8 and overall as a team, how they're able to do in this situation. Hopefully this time Official Hind not going to get, you know, counter ganked by Uni on a Scarf. I don't think we'll see that happening too much. So I should say counter jungled, my bad. But right now, bit of focus up in the lane between these 2 teams to start it off. So we've got both roamers and laners up there for now, but the Official Hind gonna push into the jungle of Uni there. And I think what is going to go wrong for the side of Elite 8 is if those Munions, like so, get caught out in the goop, they're just going to be useless instantly and get taken down fairly quickly. But you now see Anime Save Me jumping in. There's the Munions to follow through. They do have quite a lot of range on them, so it's not too bad and it's not completely lost. And I believe, as Luxuria was saying, if Glaive can get in there, find the afterburn onto the right targets, and then just put them in a their position for maybe, say, Anime Save Me to lock down with a Holy Nova, they could maybe win some fights that way. But we'll have to see how this game plays out. It's really too early to say.
Yeah, I think Official Hind is doing well to try and invade against this Scarf, doing a little bit of farm away, doing well to make sure that Scarf isn't ramping up too much. Spaghetti going very aggressive into the backs of Official Hind. Will he be caught out?
Yeah, initially pushing Hanyega's back by getting them fairly low in lane and then just flowing through with that. Official Hind coming around over Pedal is going to find Spaghetti, but is now caught between the rest of the team. They're going to get that first blood, and they'll be able to catch out SNK as well. Uni now has to run away from that fight. Elite 8 taking the first 2 kills, I believe a reverse of what we saw in the very first game between Elite 8 and Infamous.
Yeah, Elite 8 also managing to get some farm away from Uni. Petal is only 1 ahead at the moment, but has got her jungle team as well. We couldn't get this mid-triad, so it's really good for Elite 8. They are starting the early game. Starting the early game strong. They've got the advantage now. They need to keep pushing it. Petal can farm up her jungle, port home, get some items, and go straight back into Uni jungle. Try and be as aggressive as possible. But the problem is, if those Munions get caught in the goop, you need to get them respawned as quick as possible. Anime Save Me. Wow, so much damage.
Going to go low. Falls, wasn't able to find the safety of that turret, kind of just got shut down by, I guess, all the poke coming out from the side of Infamous, because in that previous fight, Infamous were split up. They were in the enemy jungle, and Official Hind on that pedal was able to rotate behind them, but we see them when they're on as a full team on that front line, just really able to put a lot of damage through. And I think that also applies with that sieging potential that this team has. Should have no trouble finding that first turret if they're going to be able to continue to apply the pressure they have been on that lane.
Yeah, they knew that Official Hind had to port home to shop because he only had 2 crystal bits, went really aggressive, so hadn't shopped yet. And that just left Infamous free to rotate up to lane, get a pretty easy gank onto Glaive, and pretty much even up the gold. There's now like very little gold lead for Elite 8, but this is still not completely lost. Official Hind is strong. He's level 5.5 at the moment, so reasonably close to level 6. And I think he's going to get the Frostburn probably, or maybe we can save up for Shatterglass. He's going to save up for a Shatterglass first. And this is a really good time for him to try and engage, try and fight against Uni.
Yeah, but you see the Munions burning up, and they are going to slowly fall away. And meanwhile, I think it's really tough for Hanyegas in the position they're in. Like, your melee, I guess, hero up in the lane trying your best. And you might see later on when Official Hein gets a certain amount of levels, they might decide to swap it out. But there's going to be Jaegers going in with a lot of patience and discipline there with Afterburn onto the Kestrel. However, they're not able to follow through with the kill just yet. Perhaps an early Frostburn could have been good with that, because Elite 8 could have just looked for the early game advantage that way in terms of having the CC. But as you said, it's more than likely Official Hein hasn't bought that Frostburn yet, is going to save up for that Shatterglass instead. How do you feel about that?
I think Shatterglass is quite a good item on Petal. It does make sense in most scenarios, especially against someone like a Scarf, who you're not going to have trouble sticking on. You're either going to be on top of her or you're not, and the problem is you're having Munions alive, not staying on top of her. But against this Kestrel, the gank in the lane would have almost definitely been successful if Official Hein had a Frostburn. So it's like that trade-off. Now Official Hein still hasn't got a tier 3 item, whereas Uni and Spaghetti both have. So Elite 8 aren't in a position to fight when they need to be able to fight as much as possible. Now he's going to get the Shatterglass. That will really help the Onions stay alive against Uni and just deal. I think it's the best item, but maybe in this scenario, he might have gone for Frostburn if they wanted to get a gank on Kestrel.
Now, you said her when you were talking about Scarf. Is Scarf a female?
I feel like Scarf is.
Is it confirmed? Scarf is a worm with wings in my mind. Scarf is gender fluid, if you want to call it that way.
Scarf is, it's a dragon. Dragons don't have
dragon. I feel like some dragons might seem more masculine. I find Scarf is a cute little just thing and can be a male. I'm not sure. One shot, one kill. Gonna go out. Misses. There's the fountain for the side of Elite 8. But yeah, what do you guys in chat think? Is Scarf a she or a he? Put it down. Other than that, put one team for this match, because of course Elite 8 need all the support you guys can give them, and Infamous really trying to shut this one out. So both teams fighting for a lot here, and we're gonna have to see how it goes. Right now, even in kills, but that could change in an instant as the Merciless Pursuit lands onto Grace. There's the goop to follow through. Just no escape for Anime Save Me there. And even under that turret, there's nothing they can do. And this was the thing I was talking about, the siege potential of Infamous, and just being able to pick off those single targets like that and pushing their man advantage is going to help them so much into the mid and late game when the death timers get longer. But Official Hein now being the one to be aggressive with that poke in return. They get SNK low, but they've dived in deep. Uni coming through with the Dragon's Breath. One shot, one kill, not going to hit. But look, Official Hein is low. One more Spitfire would finish it off. But there's going to be the fountain by Anime Save Me to save Official Hein once again, and we see Infusion being picked up by Uni there. It looks like Infamous might be, planning to get ready to put a bit more aggression on this lane and try take this first turret, as we're almost 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, 2 clutch fountains, one from SNK to keep himself alive on the turret, and one from Anime Save Me to keep that Official Hein alive. So yeah, well played by both the captains. I think the Infusion on Uni makes sense because, again, if they can offset this early game from Petal, Scarf have it once it comes to the late game. And Weapon Kestrel does extremely well when he gets that instant invisibility and just massive damage on those glimmer shots. I think Anime Save Me needs to get Echo reasonably soon to try and keep Petal or Jaegers alive. Catherine looks like she's going for the save. I think Catherine can actually afford it when she does shop. And Elite 8 going for 3-man invade into the jungle.
Yep, and they're going to be able to find the Afterburn onto the Catherine and secure the kill. Even though there's no Frostburn on Official Hein, I think you were right that it's a very good item for that. Glaive going to fall down to the Scarf. But just in the previous fight, being able to chase up, it was the kill onto the Captain. Maybe not the most beneficial kill. But you can see how the Munions really do a lot of damage and they follow through. And if you're not able to clear them out quick enough, they can be quite a bit of trouble. But right now we see Uni in a bit of trouble. Official Hein as well. Divine Intervention going to come through, saves their life. It doesn't look like they're ready to fight just yet. SNK back up in that lane, and Official Hein going to have to back out to the jungle just for a second. But whether Jaegers is looking for anything, we'll have to see. Has that Afterburn up and ready. And Elite 8 looking in a better position than they have been in previous games, keeping it a bit more even. We're almost 10 minutes in now, and they haven't given up their first turret. they've kept it fairly even in gold this time. Actually, it's precisely even, 20k to 20k for both teams. And, you know, it really could go either way right now.
Yeah, no gold lead for either side. This is something that Infamous really we haven't seen them do a lot, which is just not get a lead, just let themselves be even. And now they want to get this turret and try and push it. That's one thing that Infamous do every game is push objectives, push that first turret so early on, and Glaive could be caught out.
Yep, and it looks like they're going to go in deep biz, but Dragon's Breath coming out from Uni and might pick up Hanyegas, but Divine Intervention's going to save them, and there's going to be the official Heim with the kill on that pedal, with the double kill, and they are able to take out Spaghetti and Uni, the two major targets, leaving SNK on their own to defend this turret. If I was SNK, I would not want to be standing there, would just back off. That is going to be the smarter move, not giving up the ace, is going to back off to that turret, but does give away a turret in return. And right now, you know, a lot of plays going down. You saw initially Infamous making the engagement, but then Elite 8 able to react onto that. And you see how this pedal is actually pulling through, and we question whether it's going to work or not. And now that we see it in play, I think this is a real good chance for Elite 8 to take a game.
Yeah, it is definitely working. Petal with some fantastic spontaneous combustions, picking up 2 kills, one on Uni, one on Spaghetti. And I think, yeah, Uni's Dragon's Breath wasn't at the best time. He didn't have many broken mid stacks, and Spaghetti wasn't really in a position to deal damage at the same time. So I think Infamous just need to fight a little bit better. They could try and sneak a gold mine with Petal backed off, but it looks like they want to get a turret instead. Or, no, they're just going to back off and position, pop some vision, and position well for a fight.
Yep, and apparently, Scarf is made. Thank you, Luxury.
Scarf is a hit. And I may say if he wants to steal this gold mine, but Scarf's going to get it. Good blast over from Catherine to secure that gold mine for Infamous. I said they could sneak it, and they did. Now the gold lead is once again back to even. One turret for each side, but with Infamous picking up that gold mine, they're doing well. And yeah, official Hein, he picked up a Shatterglass and then had a heavy prism into Eclipse. And I was thinking, is he going to go double Shatterglass on this Petal? But no, he went Shatterglass into Frostburn. So going for the slows later on in the game, but he just wanted the pure early game damage. And it is a very different build on Petal. We're not seeing any armor, any shield pierce, because there isn't much shield on Infamous. They want to go pretty glass cannon. I think it makes sense for Official Hines to go for this build.
Yeah, especially when they want to slow down Infamous so they can try pick up those kills, pick up those aces. They're going to be so important moving into the mid game as well. Right now, it looks like Glaive going to be able to get out there safely, but right now both teams really positioning themselves together, staying together, ready for a team fight at any moment here. I'm surprised there's a fair lack of vision for the side of Infamous though, which might be their downfall. As we see, there's going to be Hanyegas diving in there with Afterburn on Spaghetti, but Fountain not used yet. There goes on the side of Infamous, and they're on the run away from Elite 8, who are looking so strong right now. They're able to pick up that kill onto Kestrel, and now Uni split off from the rest of the team. Nowhere to run, is going to fall to the hands of Petal, who's just 5-0-2 right now. Official Hein on that Petal, showing you how it's done. And a Luxury questioned it. He said, you know, Petal has shown a great win rates in lower tiers, but are they able to bring it up to this esports and high tier meta? And it looks like they are. They're moving their way onto this second turret, and right now it looks like there's nothing that SNK can do on their own to defend that, but Spaghetti is returning to the fight. It's gonna follow through as well, but I don't think they'll be able to catch anyone out.
Yeah, Glaive and Grace are fantastic at disengaging. Petal's already ported home. So I think Official Hein's build is working really well. The only time it will struggle is when Uni and Spaghetti decide to build an Aegis, because at that point, Petal will really just not be a point, not be a factor in these fights, because that Shatterglass and Frostburn, no broken myth to pierce. Petal needs to build an Aegis before she can get any pierce. I think Uni and Spaghetti need to start counter building. They're not going to be the massive damage dealers that they want to be, and Infamous going for a fight.
Yep, and there's going to be Hanyegas diving in onto the backline. They need to be careful of the active camo, however. Blast Tremor going to come through. They're fighting into a very tight choke point. It could go in favor of either team, but right now, Hanyegas getting split off from the rest of them. It's going to dive through with Afterburn. You should found it onto Uni, probably the preferred target there, because right now Infamous going to turn it around with the ace and evening the score out 7-7, as well as that gold lead, 31.8k to both teams. But that's going to change in a second as Infamous push onto the second turret in return. With that aced up minions, they might even get 2 out of this if they're going for it. And it looks like they are. They have the siege potential that we talked about earlier. They have that damage, and there's the aced up minions.
That's the difference between these two teams. Is Elite 8, they did well. Obviously, Petal was 5-0, but one thing Infamous do is when they get kills or get a slight advantage, they will get more from it. They got 2 turrets there, and they're now backing off, and they're absolutely fine. Whereas Elite 8, they got loads of kills early on. Petal was playing fantastically, but there was about a 1k gold lead at max, and that was it that Elite 8 could get, and then Infamous could just catch up the gold by farming well, and now they've got an ace and a couple of turrets. They're now ahead, 2k gold ahead. So I think in team fights, what Elite 8 need to do is they need to engage and not let Infamous poke at all. They tried to go in, then they backed off because there was an active camo trap, but that left Uni and Spaghetti free to just poke so much damage onto Official Hind and Hunyegers. There was nothing they could do. Elite 8 have got an all-in pretty much, so they need to just dive in, try and pick up the kills, and fight as a team. Here we're going to go.
Yeah, well, Anime Save Me going to be the one to do so, jumping into that front line, using Divine Intervention instantly onto Official Hind. Once again, Drag Breath going to be used in this fight, and it's burning Official Hind to the ground. There's going to be the fountain to save them, but Anime Save Me going to give up their own life. Hunyeg is going to be the next target, and Official Hind just has to back away at this point. Nothing they can do. 50 seconds in, however, one shot, one kill won't land. Uni is going to land. The Spitfire has not given up a chase and is going to pick up the ace. They're going to get the ace. The minions are going to push through on their own. Meanwhile, they're going to focus their attention onto Kraken. And wow, Infamous rarely turning this one around, and you are right about that. They get kills, they get objectives from it, and doing a great job. I rarely thought Elite 8 had a chance here, but it's just with these team engages. I think that they're not quite able to... I'd feel better if Glaive was the one going in with the hard stun, because it is quite hard for Grace to land on the Holy Nova, because a lot of heroes, especially at this point with tier 3 boots, are going to be too fast to lock down. It's going to be quite tough in those situations. So I'd like to see Glaive going first, and then chain stunts with Grace, and then obviously Petal just stay safe on the back line there. We saw Petal actually dive in quite deep, and Uni just turn around with the Dragon's Breath, and it could be an instant repeat. But this time they have turrets with them, but they've got to defeat this Kraken.
Infamous are going to just push. They can poke really well, so they're just going to try and get this turret from afar, or maybe it's the damage. And now they want to go on to Kestrel.
Yep, it's going to be Anime Save Me going in, but right now Hunyeg is waiting for the right opportunity, jumping into that backline, going to eat up all of that Dragon's Breath and just turn around onto Uni, damaging them down. Uni trying to do what they can with that goop, but not going to be enough. That's a much better engagement. I was a bit worried when Anime Saved Me on this Gwen, dived in there and went right into the active camo by Spaghetti, but I guess by Anime Save Me tanking that up, it meant that
SNK wants to
rest
win.
of Elite 8 wouldn't. SNK does. SNK at least wants the turret, and they're going to get it, but Hunyeg is going to tell them to back off out of here. They will be able to defeat this Kraken right now. There's no real, I guess, backdoor potential from the side of Infamous. Of course, they can go up from the top of the map, or they can technically go down below, but there's just going to be no wall jumping in that team comp. But if they're looking for it, really, Infamous could consider fighting this one out, as long as they don't give away the ace if the fight goes in the wrong direction.
Yeah, it is quite hard to push a Kraken effectively, especially into those last 2 turrets. So Infamous just happy to back off, and now
there's Elite 8 using the War Threads to get in there, and they're going to go in big. Hunyeg is with the Afterburn, doesn't find a target, however. They're jumping on, well, split up the team of Infamous, but Infamous going to regroup, and actually Elite 8 just having to back off that one. They went in fast, trying to find something, but understand that, you know, we can't engage now. We need to wait for our cooldowns for just a second, and even protect the base, because if Elite 8 give this one away, they're giving away everything. There's going to be the sentry going down, which could have helped them out just a bit more, but right now it's up to whether Infamous are going to stall this out until Kraken's up, or if they're going to force a fight.
Yeah, they did. Elite 8 they used their boots cooldown, so they're just waiting for them to come back online. And I think Infamous are in a good position at the moment because Elite 8 really can't go in. If they tried to engage, they'd be poked out before they get there. Now War Treads are back up in a couple of seconds for Grace. They could try and fight, and I think the most important thing is Anime Save Me gets a flare onto Spaghetti when Hunjaeger's dives in, because we've seen in a couple of team fights, Hunjaeger's goes with the afterburn, Kestrel just goes invisible, runs away, and Glaive's like, what do I do? He just ults, tries to find Kestrel, but then he's standing in an active camo trap and hasn't found Kestrel. And so that's just pretty much GG. Kestrel's going to win that easily. But when Anime Safety gets the flare on Spaghetti before Hunjaeger's dives in, even if Spaghetti goes invisible, it's a stun for Glaive. He can burst Spaghetti down. Spaghetti's going to get an Aegis now when he shots, but without any defense up to this point. Means that Hunjaeger's could burst it. I think Official Hein, it's good that he's got the piercing shard. It's important to have that now that an Aegis is going to be has been picked up for Spaghetti and almost has been picked up for Uni. But Petal's at the point where she's just not dealing much damage at all. And Elite 8 waiting. They're not
going to get caught out by that. And there's going to be Glaive jumping onto the fountain. Not going to be there soon enough. But Elite 8 might be able to win this fight. They have been so patient and disciplined throughout this match. They're going to be able to pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Spaghetti up in that top rush isn't going to. I was going to say isn't going to be spot out. But if they go this way, there's already vision placed down.
He doesn't know.
They can't see me. They can't see me, and I think that for now, Elite 8 are happy. They're not going to take the Kraken. They will go back to base. I think Anime Save Me might be able to stand there, tank it up with Divine Intervention, keep the Kraken rolling. And now Spaghetti knows they're in trouble. They know it's gone down. There's the active camo. They're going to be able to stun up Hunjaeger's, but it's a 2-on-1. They're going to go down, give up the ace. And Elite 8 able to turn this one around. Oh, it looks like Anime Save Me actually not able to continue that Kraken progress. So Scarf has an opportunity to steal this one, but we'll see how quickly Elite 8 are able to take this.
Spaghetti was either hoping that Elite 8 just weren't going to port, they were trying to get Kraken first so he could just rush the Vayne. But I think he just wanted to stop them taking Kraken and maybe survive long enough so that SNK and Uni could try and steal it. Didn't quite happen. He's going to be up another 20 seconds, so he'll be available to defend this Kraken. And
and I think it's another thing.
Yeah. So
it's another thing of what you said earlier about Infamous. They get kills and they get objectives. And you're right. Spaghetti, by staying up there, kind of stalled it out for Elite 8. And right now they're pushing this Kraken in, but they possibly could have got Kraken the kill a lot sooner and might have even got the anchor turret before everyone else. Like back up, because now we see Spaghetti back up with the rest of their team. They're going to be able to fight this one off and defend it pretty successfully. It's pretty hard to push through all 3 turrets with 1 Kraken, but it's getting lame against. Then we'll see how it goes.
Especially against the Scarf and a Kestrel, they can just burn that Kraken so fast. And I think Uni got caught out, but it was really unlucky. The Spitfire literally threaded the needle between Glaive and Petal. And now Elite 8 want to look for a fight. They probably want to find someone, but not right now. Kraken, they're just going to take 1 turret and back off. I don't think Elite 8 could have got much more, because really, what are you going to do? You're going to try and push this Kraken against a Scarf and a Kestrel. It's just not going to work. They're going to kill you, or they're going to take Kraken down. Now Elite 8 need to find another good engage. Scarf needs to not face check bushes. Sounds silly, but she used the Spitfire to try and check it, and they just dodged the Spitfire and waited for you. So I think one backdoor could be possible, but there's a reasonable amount of vision, and Anime Save Me should actually port home to get some more vision in the top bush, just above where he is now, because Kestrel could just walk through there without being seen.
Yeah, more vision is definitely going to be important. However, is holding onto the flares at this point doesn't really have space for it. I believe before would have put down the scout traps and then picked up the flares. So they are slowly losing that kind of control. And of course, Kestrel, able to really gambit. I'm a bit disappointed that Elite 8 didn't push in further than they did, only getting 1 turret. They possibly could have got 2, but Infamous now looking for a fight. SNK on that front line. Not afraid at all, just looking to land a stun onto someone, because this is what's so powerful about the Infamous team comp they have for them right now, is that as soon as that target is stunned, they're all just able to land the skill shots onto them instantly. We talked about before just being why they're so good at this single target kind of defense. And maybe Anime Save Me in this situation could actually just use their flares, sell their flares, whatever, But you are right. They need something up in the top of the lane just for security, because otherwise they're always going to be hugging to their base, and it's not really the right way to be playing this one, because right now Infamous are just waiting out for more time. They could get another Kraken, but Elite 8 deciding to continue to play this one safe. You see the
Just
position
stay by the
coming
base,
out.
yeah.
Yes, Spaghetti just in this backline here right now. And
He's trying to
there's
be
more
sneaky, isn't
gone. Yeah, they're really just trying to bait out Elite 8 away from their base. It either means Kestrel's going to come in behind them, or Kestrel's going to ignore them completely and could just go for Crystal. But Infamous, now knowing that Kraken is on the fold, have a whole lot more available to them. This rarely draws Elite 8 out of their base. They have to either contest this Kraken or watch over their base. You know, there's no two ways around it right now. And they've got to know that if they don't see Spaghetti, you know, you should be worried.
Yeah, definitely. Spaghetti is able to backdoor. There's no vision from Anime Save Me. He needs those flares. And I pointed out that Uni needs to not get caught out, and he actually bought 5 flares after I said that.
But Uni might get jumped on now. There's going to be Anime Save Me going in with a benediction, following through with the war treads. They're just trying to stop Spaghetti from going invisible, but they're able to find it. And it's going to be the turnaround now by Infamous as they use the Dragon's Breath coming through. Divine Intervention going to land onto Petal, who's on the backline. Meanwhile, hasn't been unchecked. Anime Save Me going to go in with the Holy Nova, but there's no follow through. They really need Han Jaegers on that glaive to kind of go in as well. And right now, Elite 8 on the run. The slows coming through on that Frostburn from Uni and the Spitfire. This is looking bad. Elite 8 having to back out of it, and I'm sure that more than likely Infamous can take this with ease right now, and there won't be any contest from Elite 8.
Of course, Elite 8 are gonna try and win a fight and push to win. We're 25 minutes in, 26 minutes in now. I think the death times are about 60 seconds. So if Elite 8 win the fight, they don't even need to kill Kraken. Spaghetti
and Spaghetti, up in that top of the lane already, just walking in. There's no minions there, but you're right, Jaegers has that sense, knows that's going to happen, uses the reflex block in case they're going to get hit by the active camo, but now backing out of the fight. They don't have Afterburn up, they don't have the means to jump onto Spaghetti. Spaghetti going to be able to take them down in the 1v1. Official Hein trying to get back to base, but Spaghetti already making quick work of this Vein Crystal. That's going to be game 3, going over to Infamous. They're going to finish off Official Hein just for the kill. And a bit of a twirl. Infamous gonna leave this one to the Kraken instead.
Yeah, that will be game 3. Going over to Infamous. Extremely well played by them. Kestrel gets the one shot for Vayne.
I think style points.
Yeah, once it got to late game, it was really Elite 8 had to catch out Infamous, or else Infamous were gonna win. It was such a close game. 12 kills on both sides. But once Infamous just had enough flares to find out where Elite 8 was, Scarf, I think, built 2 boots. Maybe she bought journey boots and then an extra sprint boots just so she could run, and then when Glaive dived in, run away again. And once Infamous couldn't be caught out, they were pretty much going to win late game.
Well, definitely out of those 3 games, that was the closest that